Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, ever merciful. Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. Welcome to tonight's lecture organized by the Talim department. We will start our program with a recitation of Holy Quran. I'll request Hakim and Sahib to do the tilawat and its English translation. Hakim Sahib.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا الشمس كورت وإذا النجوم انكدرت وإذا الجبال سيرت وإذا العشار عطلت وإذا الوحوش حشرت وإذا البحار سجرت وإذا النفوس سودت وإذا الموءودة سئلت بأي ذنب قتلت وإذا الصحف نشرت وإذا السماء كشطت وإذا الجحيم سعرت وإذا الجنة أزلفت. The verses just recited are from Holy Quran chapter 81, verses 1 to 14. Translation: I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the accursed. In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful. When the sun is folded up, and when the stars are obscured, and when the mountains are made to move, and when the she-camels 10 months pregnant are abandoned, and when the wild beasts are gathered together, and when the rivers are drained away, and when various people are brought together, and when the female infant buried alive is questioned about for what crime was she killed, and when books are spread abroad, and when the heaven is laid bare, and when hellfire is set ablaze, and when paradise is brought nigh. Jazakumullah.
Jazakallah Hakim Sahib. So tonight we have the pleasure of company of Dr. Ismaeel Mohammed, who is the physician in the Manchester Hospital, or consultant physician. He's originally from Iraq, and by the grace of Allah, he's been Ahmadi since 2012, if I'm correctly remembering that, Dr. Saib. So, as per our tradition of the program, after the lecture, you viewers, you will have the opportunity to ask questions. Please type in the questions into the chat box relevant to the topic, and towards the end of the lecture, we will endeavor to put those questions to our guest speaker. It gives me a great pleasure to pass over to Dr. Ismaeel Mohammed to deliver the lecture on the latter days prophecy. Dr. Saab.
We're going to talk today about the latter days prophecies. It's not going to be, of course, the latter day prophecies, there are lots of them. We're going to focus on, some certain angle. That is especially when the Prophet Muhammad said, no prophet was sent, but that he warned his people against the one-eyed liar, which means the Dajjal, the antichrist. Now, we also know from Quran that messengers did not only warn, but likewise there was a glad tidings. So if there was all the messengers warned against one person or the antichrist or the Dajjal. So since they also give glad tidings, that means they also gave glad tidings of the Savior. So we talking about some of the religions. For example, in Confucianism, we can see that there is a prophecy about a man. Such a man will make his appearance in the world. So it seems that this man is different from Confucius, that he was not only to a certain areas. He's not limited to, he's going to be to the whole world. All who have life and breathe will honor and love him. Since that's a prophecy that he's going to prevail. So we read from Quran that it is who sent his messenger with glad tidings, with guidance and the religion of truth, that he may make it prevail. So this prevalence is consistent, exactly what is in Confucianism, that that man is going to prevail. Of course, we know it's about the Prophet Muhammad, but the way how it prevails, according to most commentators, like for example Qurtubi, likewise Tabari, the most important two commentators, they both said this is going to be prevalent, is going to be at the time of Isa alayhi salam, the Jesus peace upon him, or the promised Messiah, Khuruj Isa. So now this is in Confucianism. What about in Buddhism? In Buddhism, we read that another Buddha will rise in the world. So Gautama Buddha is that Buddha, but now he is prophesying about another Buddha will rise in the world. That Buddha is going to be different. He will establish his law. So basically, the Buddha of that Buddha, the future Buddha, has got a different religion. His disciples will number many thousands, while mine number many hundreds. Now, the very interesting this in Buddha is a bit more in detail than the Confucianism. It gives more details. He's known as Maitreya. Maitreya is of course means Messiah. So another Buddha is going to be in the future. He's going to be a Messiah, and not only that, he's fully awakened, but also he is going to be a guide. So basically, a Messiah and a guide. This is exactly what in the prophecies, and the Prophet ﷺ said that the Jesus, son of Mary, who we are waiting for, is going to be also, he's going to be the rightly guided. So rightly guided means he's going to guide. So he's a Messiah and Imam Mahdi. That's contrary to many of our Sunni brothers who think that there are two people, not fast. In fact, both will be one person. He's going to be a Messiah and he's going to be guided. So this is also the prophecies in Buddhism. Also,
Dr. Saab, your camera is off, so I can't see you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Please let me know, because unfortunately, now and again, automatically goes off. So
okay, now you're back on.
Yeah, fantastic, great. So basically, another source, also Buddhist source in Anagata Vamsa, also talking about Messiah. So it's talking about the end of the years. Now, Maitreya or Messiah in Buddhism, according to encyclopedia, says he is going to be future Buddha, and he is likely to be born in India. That's the prophecy. And also, his goal would be to reinstate dharma. Now, we need to understand what dharma is. Dharma is a terminology which is common in both Buddhism and Hinduism. So I think even Confucianism, most of these areas, religions, used to know what dharma is. So dharma, according to encyclopedia, is righteousness. Righteousness, religiousness, moral duties, all of these are a state of dharma. So basically, the prophecy is that there will be a state, an era or age of Adama. Adama is again different from Dharma. Dharma is righteousness. Adama, no righteousness, no religion, no moral moralities. So basically, this is exactly what the prophecy of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ about the awaited Imam Mahdi. He is gonna bring equity and justice when that stage is gonna be age of oppression and tyranny. So in both Buddhist and Hindu scriptures, the oppression and tyranny are described as adharma, and the promised one is going to bring back dharma, which is equity and justice and righteousness and religiousness. And this is exactly what in the hadith the Prophet ﷺ talking about. Blessed is he who lives after the coming of the Messiah, because basically the Messiah is going to bring religiousness, bring moral qualities, bring back the things which have been lost before. Likewise, in Sutra, another Buddhist religious text, there is also another prophecy about the Messiah or Maitreya. He's going to liberate from struggles. Exactly the same thing which we said, blessed is he who lives after coming, because there will be no struggleness. So that's the same thing. In Hinduism, in the Bhagavad Gita, the Hindu scripture, again, now we said the Buddha is going to be say another Buddha. Now here Krishna, the peace upon him, the Hindu prophet, peace upon him, said, I manifest myself on earth. This is exactly when say we see Jesus will turn up again. Buddha is going to turn up again. So basically it seems that these things are religious terminologies. I manifest myself on earth. What's my job is going to be annihilate the wicked. Exactly the same as we said in Buddhism. So he's going to re-establish the principles of Dharma. This is exactly the job of Imam Mahdi, promised Messiah. So an age of no righteousness, no religion, no moral qualities. These will be re-established, restored by the promised person. Whether you call him Buddha, you call him Krishna, you call him Messiah, you call him Imam Mahdi. They are all terminologies. In Vishnu Purana, another Hindu scriptures, we read it in another angle. It says there will be Kali age. Kali age, Kali age of Kali. So who is Kali? It's a demon Kali. We'll go to that. He is going, and Kalki will turn up. That's another description of the promised one. He's gonna be in Shambhala village, and he's gonna bring age of purity. So basically, in another terminology, also Hindu terminology, bring dharma when there is no dharma or there is a dharma. So Shambhala village seems to be like the village when the promised person will live, and it's going to be a village of peace and harmony. Now, in Hindu scriptures, you can see here, it's a very small one. The Kali age is portrayed as a male mortal demon, exactly like in Islam and in the Antichrist. Like the Antichrist is portrayed as a human being, and it will go, you see, it's called Kali Yuga or Kali age, the age or era of Kali, with demon Kali, which means it's Antichrist, who's dominating impiety, violence, and decay. In Vishnu Purana, the same thing. Let's go. Now, in Hindu, there are 4 yugas, 4 ages, 4 stages. Satra Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dvapara Yuga. But what we interested is Kali Yuga. That's the last age, the age of the Antichrist. And if you ask all the Hindus, they agree that this is the Kali Yuga, Kali age. And interesting here, it says last 432,000 years. Now, if we see the exaggeration which they are doing, making millions, thousands, it seems that 432,000 years means 432. Why is that important? I'll come back to this later. You see here in the Kali demon, or the Antichrist in Christianity, Dajjal in Islam, is also portrayed as a man, while they knew it's not a man, but it's portrayed as a man with a sword, which means he's going to bring violence and religiousness. This is exactly what also in Islam, and which is Gog and Magog, disturbance of the world, fighting, fire, like Ya'juj and Ma'juj is from fire. While the promised person, you can see, he's not fighting him back with the sword, but with wisdom. You see, it's very, very clear here. So the fourth age to them ruled by Kali, ruled by the demon Kali, which is the antichrist according to Islam, and Dajjal according to Islam, antichrist in Christianity. In that age, kings in the fourth age will be godless. This is exactly what is now the age of antichrist, this age which we live in, and it's not we're living now for more than 100 years. Now Kalki is the promised person. You can see with the white horse, is Indian. So basically what is going to do? He will amass an army of those few pious souls remaining. Amass an army. So he's going to build a community. What sort of army? Is that an army with swords? No, pious souls. It's a spiritual army. Spiritual army is exactly what is in our community. It's we call it tajneed because we are in Ahmadiyya Muslim community. We are spiritual soldiers, no arms, as you can see in the portrait. We no arms, just spiritual, few pious souls. That's exactly the prophecy in the Hindu scriptures, and also these together will with all the incarnations of the Godhead avatars which have appeared throughout human history. This is avatar is a description, Hindu description of somebody representing other person, and you can see even whoever seen the movie Avatar, you can see somebody is representing the other. So you can see this in Quran in the Surah Al-Mursalat, وَإِذَا الرُّسُلُ أُقِّتَتْ, and when the messengers are made to appear at the appointed time. The meaning is when prophecies concerning the second advent of various messengers, which means second advent of Buddha, alayhi salam, second advent of Krishna, alayhi salam, second advent of Isa, alayhi salam, will be fulfilled with the appearance in the world of a great heavenly reformer who will come in the power and spirit of such messengers. So this is what it says. So basically, the Prophet ﷺ came exactly at the appointed time, representing all the prophecies, all the messengers who have been in the past. For example, if you are Hindu, you're waiting for Krishna. Here we go. This is Krishna, but this Krishna is not a Hindu Krishna. He's a Krishna under the umbrella of the Prophet Muhammad. Likewise, if you are Buddhist, so here we go. This is the Rasulu Okita. And Kalki, the promised one, will destroy all demons and sins in the world. And this is, this is exactly what we say, that he's gonna kill the Antichrist or smash the cross, which means, of course, not killing with the sword, as we can see. It is killing with wisdom, and with wisdom. Here we go. As we can see, this is repeated. This is the Kali demon. Like, for example, we said Antichrist with the sword, and the fighting of the Antichrist is going to be with wisdom and not with sword. In Zoroastrianism, you can see also there is an awaited person. His name or title, Saoshyant. Saoshyant is going to be victorious benefactor, victorious all over the world renovator. I've got a friend of mine, Persian. He said this is the Prophet Mohammed alayhi salam. Well, the Prophet ﷺ is not a world renovator. Renovator is somebody who renovating. The Prophet ﷺ has got a higher status than a world renovator. But this world renovator fulfills too much the promised Messiah ﷺ as a world renovator, not an owner of a Sharia. So victorious benefactor, sentient, and world innovator. So he's got two jobs, and he is going to oppose the evil. So exactly what is in Islam is two main jobs, and is opposing the antichrist. Also in Avesta Zamyag Yasht, he says this victorious world innovator and his helpers. His helpers is very, very important. We read in Quran, يا أيها الذين آمنوا أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا أنصار الله. O ye who believe. Now, O ye who believe, it is to the believers. Believers here in Quran, if we go to the context, it talks about the followers of the Prophet Muhammad. It's not talking about the followers of Jesus. No, it's talking about the followers of Prophet Muhammad. Be helpers of Allah. This is exactly what the other in Zoroastrian says. He's going to have helpers. In our community, Jama'at Islam Ahmadiyya, we have got Ansarullah. Ansarullah means helpers of Allah. So they say, as be helpers of Allah, as. This as is very important. As means look exactly like what Jesus, son of Mary, said to his disciples. So basically, this as gives us an impression. This is talking about believers, followers of Prophet ﷺ, and Jesus, son of Mary, is going to be one of his followers, not the one who was sent to the Israelites. And he's going to have disciples, and he's going to have helpers. Now, the most important thing is with the son of Mary, who is a Muslim son of Mary, follower of Prophet ﷺ, and with his helpers, Ansarullah, they will be victorious. Now, the last thing you see, victorious, and this is exactly what in the Zoroastrianism is going to be victorious. So لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ فَأَصْبَحُوا ظَاهِرِينَ, became victorious. Now, also, they say about Sentient, or the promised person. Of course, they say he's Persian, and it's exactly what we say. Prophet ﷺ is a Persian in origin. Whole world is seen as afflicted in the last days by the power of the evil spirit, and that's the Antichrist. And this evil spirit will be very oppressive and tyrannical. And then when it becomes needful to destroy him, and that's going to be the job of Sentient. And this is what we exactly say. This is what the promised Messiah's task is. Diva, I'll skip this. Now, this is very, very interesting one. When will the Sentient come? According to Zoroastrian's teachings, righteousness is so worthy and great and valuable that in one place it's revealed that Zarathustra asked God. What did he ask? How much time remains until the time of the making of all things new and perfect, and the future body? So he's talking about Sentient and when will be turning up. God said 3,000 years. 3,000 years. Now, this was, when was this? According to what we know from, if you ask encyclopedia or Google it, Zoroaster is believed to have lived probably between 1,200 before Christ and 1,000 before Christ. What does it mean? 3,000 from that time. It means between 1,800 to 2,000. That is the time of the promised one to come according to Zoroastrian's teachings. Now, the earth will be purified. This is another very interesting thing, which is nothing to do with the promised person, but because I found it very interesting. This is why I put it here. According to Encyclopedia Iranica, the earth will be purified by a torrent of a fiery metal, through which all mankind will pass. To the blessed, it will be like walking through a warm milk, but sinners will perish. Thereafter, the kingdom of God will come upon an earth restored to its original goodness. So that's a very interesting prophecy. I'm gonna miss this, skip this, because I did not. I found this only in Baha'is religion. I did not find it anywhere else, so I'm gonna skip it. Now, Old and New Testament. We can see in Daniel which is in the Old Testament. In my vision, what did Daniel alayhi salam see in his vision? In his vision, he said he saw one like a son of man, one like a son of man. So if according to scriptures, if son of man is the Messiah, is Jesus son of Mary, like is going to be like. So that's what in Quran we say, in Islam say, in Ahmadiyya Muslim community we say he's like Jesus son of Mary, he's not him. So this when this man comes, all nations and people of every language will worship him. Of course, worship him is a metaphorical, like in Quran, usjudu li Adama, prostrate to Adam. Nobody should prostrate to Adam. So this is a metaphorical statement, and we can see this. I don't know whether can I. It doesn't work, does it? Yeah, I think it does. In this video, we can see all the languages. Exactly, this is a prophecy of the in the Daniel 7:13. Now, this is exactly what's in Quran. It makes it will be prevailed. The religion will be prevailed at the time of the promised Messiah. Now, also in Revelation is by John the Revelationist. It's not John the Baptist, John the Revelationist. He saw a beast rising out of the sea, and he's got with 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 diadems, 10 kingdoms, 10 crowns on his horn, and blasphemous names. Now, what we say that according to hadith, that the coming of the Dajjal was after the in 1500s when they came from the sea. This is exactly, and in fact it was one kingdom and then became many kingdoms, and all of them had the blasphemous flags on, and that was the beginning of the antichrist. They worship the beast now, saying who is like the beast and who can fight against it. This is exactly in the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said about the Dajjal, لا يداني لأحد بقتالهم. Now I have brought forth from among my servants such people against whom none would be able to fight. So nobody can fight Gog and Magog. Nobody can fight the Dajjal. Nobody can fight the beast according to the John the Revelationist prophecy. Also in the same revelation, he does great wonders, makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And you can see you can see the picture, the bombardments by airplanes. This is the prophecy. We also have got it in hadith, but I did not bring it. Also the same thing, that he will bombard people from above, from the sky. So it's exactly. Also, he's a deceiver. He deceives. That for Dajjal is a deceiver. From the name Dajjal means a deceiver. Dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles. This was exactly what we say in hadith, that he is gonna control the modern technology, the airplanes, and this and that, and this is how he's gonna control the earth by these miracles, and he's going to be dominant over everybody. The sun, according to Matthew 24, sun will be darkened and the moon shall not give light. This is exactly what in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, inna li Mahdina ayatain. I think I did not bring the English translation to our Mahdi has got 2 important ayat, signs. Also the kusuf al-qamar, the sun and moon's eclipses, and this has happened, of course, in 1894 and 1895. Likewise, the stars shall fall. Stars shall fall. All the prophets who came, of course, Prophet Muhammad also when he came, وَالنَّجْمِ إِذَا هَوَى, they will be supported by worldly signs and lots of asteroids, and this come down. And this exactly happened at the time of promised Messiah, at the time of Jesus peace upon him, at the time of Prophet Muhammad, at the time of Musa alayhi salam. All of the messengers of Allah will be supported by such signs. And this happened at the time of the Prophet when the Caesar of Rome has seen lots of stars coming, like asteroids coming out from the sky. He looked at them, he said, this is the time of the promised prophet. So this is why he said, who are the Arabs there? And Abu Sufyan was one of them. And he asked him, you've got somebody who claimed to be a prophet? He said, yes. After many questions, he said, yes, I think he is the prophet, because he saw the sign of stars falling. And Son of Man in heaven, that's exactly what we say, that Isa alayhi salam is going to come from the sky. This is, or not from the sky, but he's going to descend down. These are all metaphorical. Shall all the tribes of the earth mourn? That is very, very important prophecy. All the tribes, there is no exception. Well, we know that Christians are a tribe, nations are written. The Christian nations are nations, they are tribes. So according to this prophecy, they will also mourn. While the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, we are not tribe, we are a minority. So this does not include us, but this includes all the Christians. So Christians should think about this Matthew's prophecy, that when the promised Messiah comes, Christians will also mourn. They'll be included in this prophecy. Shall gather together his elect from the four winds. This is exactly سأبلغ دعوتك إلى أقصى أطراف الأرضين. The prophecy, the Prophet Messiah, that he shall gather together his elect from the four winds. This is an illustration, an old illustration done by some Liber Floridus, which is illustrating the Antichrist on like a dragon with a fire from mouth, with a sword. This is exactly the prophecies that he's going to have like jet fires and bombarding people with fire, and he's got a weapon. This is an old Antichrist illustration. And interesting enough, Martin Luther, not Martin Luther King, Martin Luther the monk, the German monk, in 1518, he described the Pope at the time as the Antichrist. And this is exactly what we are saying as well. The reason, because the Pope usurps God's place as lawmaker, adding his own rules to those in the Bible. And this is exactly what Antichrist, even in the Christian literatures, this is a description of the Antichrist. So Martin Luther said the Pope is the Antichrist. Likewise, he said the Rome is the Antichrist. And his reason for that, it is said that the Antichrist shall find the treasures of the earth. And this is exactly also in the hadith, that he is gonna find the treasures of the earth, and he's gonna dig them out. And this is what we know, that all the oil, for example, of the Muslim countries was taken out by the West. It was not taken out by the Muslims themselves. Now, the time of the promised one. This is very important. The promised one, whether it's a Buddha, Krishna, Zoroastrian, Jesus, Isa, Imam Mahdi, what time is he going to turn up? According to Islam, the Dajjal will turn up when he's going to be up. There will be an event that upsets him, and then that he will turn up. That event is the Constantinople. Constantinople is going to be conquered by Muhammad II, the Ottoman king, Sultan, I mean. And then this is going to disturb him. Why is it going to disturb him? Because Constantinople was the Eastern, representing the Orthodox Christianity. The whole Eastern Christianity almost collapsed. Of course, the Latin Christianity, representing the Antichrist, became very upset. That's the Antichrist which turned up. And when he turned up, we'll talk about the state. The most important thing is, let's talk about why is that important? Because according to the prophecy, after the conquer of the city means here Constantinople, Istanbul, 1 year after that, the Antichrist will turn up. So we know 1943, Constantinople was opened, conquered. So 1453. 1454, according to the prophecy, he has turned up. Turned up, of course, where? In Andalusia and in Spain, and killed lots of Muslims and this and that. Now, we've got a prophecy of the Prophet ﷺ. He said, they asked him, how long will he remain, the Dajjal, the Antichrist, remain on the earth? He replied, the Prophet ﷺ replied, 40 days. 1 day like a year, 1 day like a month, 1 day like a Jumu'ah. Jumu'ah is a three people makes a Jama'ah. And the rest of these days like yours. Now let's make calculations. Now 1 day, 365, like a year. 1 day like a month, 30 days. 1 day like a Jumu'ah, 3 days. The other days like yours, 37 out of 40, right? The total is going to be 435. Let's make the calculations. 1454, the Dajjal, the Antichrist, turned up. Plus 434, we've made the calculations. It exactly 1889. That is when the Promised Messiah established the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. And this is an announcement that from today, the Antichrist will start to, according to Hadith, will go into like water goes to salt, will slowly goes down. And this is exactly what we know. Christianity in 1889 possibly was at its pinnacle, and from then down came down, and still going down. And this is what exactly the task of the Promised Messiah is, to break the cross, and that's what we know very clearly. So in Islam, 435 years. What about in Hinduism? You remember we said 432,000 years, and I believe these thousands are exaggeration. So it's 432 years, not much different from 435 years, right? Okay. Now in Zoroastrianism, we said 3,000 years, and we did the calculations. It means it is from 1,800 to 2,000. This is exactly 1889 is between that. So it's very accurate prophecy. In Old Testament, in Daniel 8:14, and he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the can you see me now? Yeah. 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. Right? So sanctuary be cleansed, it's a hint of the coming of the promised Messiah, and he's going to be cleansing. That's going to be the age of purity will turn up from that day. Or he's going to be the master of putting the person who's going to put the seed for sanctuary to be cleansed. And that's important. Religiously, that's what's important. If the calculations made from 457 BC, this will lead to 1844. Now, this calculation is not a Muslim calculation. We have not done this because this calculation is a bit difficult, especially these dates are not very clear. But this calculation is made by William Miller, who was expecting the promised Messiah to come in 1844. This is why They had many followers, but when in 1844, when they did not find the promised Messiah, they did not find Jesus, they came back. So his followers abandoned him. But later on, the Seventh-day Adventism, made on only because of this prophecy. Because there was Ellen G. White, she adopted the idea again, and she's done some interpretation, but definitely this 1844 was something which was undeniable. So basically, it is almost similar. It's basically in the same century anyway. Some difference in the date, not exactly. That's because the beginning of that prophecy, we don't know exactly the date when the prophecy happened, when Daniel alayhi salam had this revelation. This is why we don't know, but at least the date is very near the what we say. I think I can stop it here. I did not know I'm gonna finish in the right time. This is why I was very quick. I've got other slides, but I think they are not very important.
If you want to continue, Dr. Ismaeel, then you can. You've got a few minutes.
If I see, I will just focus on some of the Daniel has got alayhi salam had lots of prophecies. He was with the Persian ruler, I think Belshazzar, when he saw visions, and he did not understand the vision. And in the vision, he's asking, I did not understand. So Jibreel alayhi salam came to him, and he explained such as a few things. He saw a he-goat. He-goat came from the west. So he-goat is also representative of the beast, representative of the antichrist, coming from the west, and he's gonna be on the face of the whole earth and touched not the ground. So basically, he's flying. The goat had a notable horn between his eyes. It's a very long prophecy. He had a fight with the Dhul-Qarnayn, with the Ram. Ram is a representative of the believers, because Dhul-Qarnayn, who was Cyrus the Great, Cyrus, he was a very pious person. He was a follower of Zoroastrian alayhi salam, and he had lots of. He was a representative of the believers. So basically, the goat, though at the time Ram, nobody could win with the Ram. When the goat comes, the Ram is defeated. That is the prophecy that Muslims will, the faith of Muslims will start to weaken. And it is in this prophecy when he asked, when will that be cleansed? And the answer is 2,300 days, which means 2,300 years. For the time, and Jibreel told him, this prophecy is for at the time of the end shall be the vision. This vision you are seeing is for the end of the time. And then he explained to him that the goat is the king of Gracia. So it's basically the representing the Antichrist, the West, Rome. That's what we say also in our prophecies. And you can see none understood the vision. It's a very nice vision. I think we need to study this vision very well. There are lots of prophecies in it, and there's also about 62 weeks. I am still to. I made it this calculation, but I'm not sure. I'm still studying it. I need people who know the Bible better than me, definitely better than me. So I think I'm going to end it here. And
Jazakallah, Dr. Ismaeel Mohammed Saib. It's such a comprehensive study of the prophecies and no doubt on the promised messiahs and essays. So jazakallah for that. There's lots of positive comments from the viewers. One of the question is put here, and I guess they're asking your view on this, said that the Christians and Muslims are waiting for the Messiah to appear. All the prophets are fulfilled, and then why they don't accept as the Masih Maud and Mahdi Maud, alayhi salam, what will be their fate? That's the question that's been asked. What do you think? So, in your opinion, why do you think they don't accept it, and what would be their fate?
I think it's more important than that is to focus on something. Is he the promised one? Focusing what's going to be the fate is exactly what the Fir'aun was trying to like pull the legs of Musa alayhi salam and telling him, what about our forefathers? Are they in hellfire? Are they? So Musa alayhi salam asked, they have gone, don't talk about them. So let's talk about the most important thing. Is he the promised Messiah or not? That's what they need to focus on. And that's what they need to study. And in addition to study, or more important than that, is to do istikhara and to pray to Allah. What will they, what will they lose if he is not the one? They will lose nothing. Are they going to gain if he's the one? Let's suppose they're not going to lose anything. Let's suppose, all right? But what about if he's the one? This is exactly when one of the people asked Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, how do we know that God exists? He said, well, okay, what are you going to lose if there is no God? If there is no God, are you going to lose? Yes, you're going to lose a lot, don't you? He said, yes. So, okay, it's better to believe in him. He said, yes. He was a very simple person. That's it. So you're going to gain a lot if he's the promised Messiah, aren't you? The cross has been broken. I'm sorry to say that. Unless the person's blind, we can see very clearly in 1889, the pinnacle of the cross was then, right? From then, why is it coming down? Because the cross is broken. And the cross is broken in one hadith, described that the job of the promised Messiah is to break the cross. In another hadith, said he's going to kill the Dajjal. Now, killing the Dajjal and breaking the cross is the same. It's a synonymous. That's the problem. People think there's a person who's going to be killed. Well, killing in the Arabic language is suppression. In Arabic language, we say, I killed the wine with water, which means I suppressed the wine. The wine is still there. I've just put water in it. So killing the Dajjal means suppression of the evil spirits. Let's put it this way, in a very exactly in the you can see in the Hindu, if you want to convince a Hindu person. So, okay, are you waiting for dharma? Yes. So is this not age of Adama? Yes. Okay. See the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. Can't you see they are trying to make the dharma from Adama? Look at their actions. If you see a Christian, you can tell them, look, in your Bible, what is the sign of the coming of the Christ? Jesus is the one saying very clearly, you will know the tree by its fruits. So he's telling you guys, you will not know him, but at least you will know the fruits. Okay, now I am challenging anybody, go through this planet and see, like Allah says, "Siru fil ardi fanzuru." Look in the planet and see, is there any tree better than Ahmadiyya Muslim community? I challenge anyone. You can't see. You can't see. When the third Khalifa, rahmallah, he was asked by, I think BBC or whatever, what are you doing here? He said, we are here to conquer you with love. So this is our job. This is the promise. This is the promised community. What you don't know how to see is he the promised one or not? Okay, see his fruits. 130 years is that not enough? Do you want to wait 1,000 years? It's going to be too late. يوم يأتي بعض آيات ربك لا ينفع نفسا إيمانها لم تكن آمنت من قبل أو كسبت في إيمانها خيرا. In Allah says in the Quran very clearly, when it is too late, it's too late. You'll have to, you'll have to do things right now. When Fir'aun said, now I believe, Allah said, it's too late. You should have believed early on. When you saw the sign of locusts, of the frogs, of the lice, of these things, now we have seen more than locusts and frogs and blood, and we've seen much more than that. We've seen the First World War, we've seen the Second World War, we've seen Palestine is gone. What do you want more than that as a sign? The sign is very clear. Allah says, وَإِذَا جَاءَ وَعْدُ الْآخِرَةِ جِئْنَا بِكُمْ لَفِيفًا. In the latter days, as a punishment to the wrong Muslims, I'm going to support the Jews and bring them back to the Holy Land, to Palestine. And you, in spite of being lots, 1.5 billion, you can't win on 3 millions. Why? Because Allah is upset with Muslims. Why? Because the promised one has come. And Allah gave you the messenger Prophet gave you the warning about antichrist, but also gave you a glad tidings. So you can see the warning. Can't you see the glad tidings? You need to look at both. The warning is very clear. Likewise, the glad tidings. So please look at the positive thing of the when Abu Bakr Siddiq was asked, how did you know that the victory came? Why did you cry? How did you know? There's a bad thing between this good news. There's something. The Abu Bakr Siddiq said, whenever you see something, on the top of being negative, you'll have to see top of positive. If you see top positive, there is something top negative. So now we all see the top negative. We all can see it. The situation of Muslims worldwide is so bad. It's never been so bad. Look for the positivity. أنا عند ظن عبدي بي. I am the way. You have to have good fun about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I don't want this in English. You have to be good, thinking good of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see these bad things, you have to think that Allah is not just watching us. Okay, I don't care. No, He's careful. He's a caring God. He's caring, Allah Almighty. Sorry, it was too long. I'm sorry for that.
No, Jazakallah for the comprehensive response to that. Once again, thank you, and Jazakallah, Dr. Ismaeel Mohammed, for watching the program. Please continue watching this program, the Urdu lecture on Monday and English lecture on Tuesday. Please provide your feedback, and you can see the email address at the bottom of the screen, talim@ahmadiyyauk.org. If you have any suggestions, any topics you would like to be covered in the lectures, please send us your feedback. That would be greatly appreciated. At this stage, I would like to request our speaker guest to lead us in the silence prayer.
Join me in silence. Ameen. Ameen.
Ameen. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum salam.